deal with airplane peanuts?
Shane Gillis made history at the 33rd annual ESPYs after his performance hosting the biggest award show in sports led to the comedian's name trending online all night, lighting up the internet with an onslaught of positive reviews.
Four-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players. That's crazy, you clap for that.
The main thing that any host is gonna be judged on is obviously their opening monologue. And just like both times he's hosted SNL, Shane Gillis took plenty of really big and super funny risks on live TV that almost felt like a wink and a nod to his podcast viewers at times, but weren't always appreciated as much by the live audience. One of the best examples of this happened to be the coolest part of the show for any big fan of comedy, when Shane paid tribute to Norm Macdonald by closing out his ESPYs monologue with the exact same legendary joke that Norm told about O.J. Simpson to end his monologue in 1998.
Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy this year. He's the first defensive player since Charles Woodson to win the Heisman. Congratulations, Travis Hunter, winning the Heisman. That's something they can never take away from you.
Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case
they can take that away from you. Well, see, a lot of you don't like me, and that's okay.
This entire experience must have been insanely surreal for Shane Gillis. From doing jokes in front of so many current and former sports legends, to paying tribute to one of his comedy heroes, and literally standing on stage with the Eagles offensive line while they accepted the Best Team Award like Kramer at the Tonys. This almost felt like watching the funniest Make-A-Wish kid of all time live out his dream on live TV. After the opening monologue, Shane was featured briefly from time to time, but mainly just to introduce other guest presenters. However, there was one really well done sketch about the invention of the tush push that featured fellow comedian Matthew Broussard and Drewski.
You guys want to hear about the play? Yeah! You guys want to hear the play? Yeah! All right. Picture this. You're going to line up in center, all right? JT, you're going to line up right behind him. We're going to get two guys behind you. This is where the play gets good. At the snap, you dive right into his butt. What?
Between Young Bull sightings, the 3-hour ceremony certainly felt slow. It seemed like every other award had some sort of sob story montage attached to it, and the moments without Shane on stage got boring and stale quickly, even if you love sports. Honestly, if you were just watching for Shane, you probably would have been safe turning it off after the opening monologue. But overall, they did try their best to sprinkle in enough funny hosting moments along the way to keep people at home engaged throughout some otherwise brutally slow television and overly rehearsed speeches.
The weird thing is like people watch shit like that when you do like late night. They don't want you to be a normal guy. Like regular people that watch that want you to be like a celebrity would act. You know, where they're like, "Oh, Seth, it's great to be here, man." Instead of just being normal. Like,
wait, a normal person doesn't want you to be like
regular people watching the show. They're like, "He's nervous and he sucks." It's
Yeah,
like,
okay.
no, I'm being a human.
Oh, because you're not going. Like,
I'm
I'll
not
tell
like,
you what.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something.
Thanks
This
to be
is what
here.
yeah.
Beautiful night here.
Crossing my legs, being like, "Oh man, this is what a treat."
That's interesting. I feel like people. I don't know.
No, I've noticed because anytime I do SNL, they're like, "Look at he's nervous. It's like, no, this is how I would act.
Yeah,
this is weird. I'm not pretending this is normal.
Also, it's like, yeah, I'm nervous. I'm on television. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm nervous. Of course I'm nervous.
I'm gonna be nervous during the. I didn't. Yeah, for some reason, the idea of walking onto the stage.
I never thought about that.
Is really uncomfortable.
Big ass stage.
Big ass stage. Fall. They were talking. They were like, "We can get you pyro," and I was like, "Dude, get me pyro for every time I bomb a joke. Tell a really bad joke, and then."
Yeah, just load up the cannons.
Sick,
load
dude.
the cannons. Would they do that?
I don't know. Maybe. I think
if somebody
they
goes
seem
flat.
like they're down for anything.
That's awesome.
Regardless of what a few out-of-touch writers publish in their online blogs, it seemed like the people at ESPN truly let Shane do his thing and say whatever he wanted, as long as he was brave enough to actually deliver those jokes to that crowd, which was awkward at times.
Well, that guy's weird.
The live audience certainly had some topics that they enjoyed more than others. Most of the stuff did well, but there were a handful of jokes that fell flat, like the Adam Silver, Joe Rogan alien joke that actually got booed by one random guy in the crowd.
It's an alien joke. Wait, who booed up there, dude? Shut up.
Some personal favorite jokes from the opening monologue were the ones about Megan Rapone, Max Crosby, Caitlin Clark, and Bill Belichick. Shout out to all the comedians who helped write jokes for Shane as well. Speaking of Bill Belichick, it almost felt like a more tame version of the Brady roast at times, where in both situations, the network executives calling the shots were fully trusting the comedians to do their jobs and chose not to limit their ability to make jokes or to take big risks on stage, which in both times resulted in comedy gold. Now, if they're making this decision been actually for the good of comedy, or if they're just fishing for a viral, controversial moment, who knows? But either way, as the kids say, they let them cook.
They're like kind of excited about it.
Yeah, let it rip.
They're like, because we did promos for it, and I was like, oh, this is live. Like I was joking, like I'm gonna do something crazy.
Yeah.
And they're like using that. I had to be like, get rid of that. I look like a dumbass.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm nuts. I was doing that. And they're like, here's the promo we're going to put out. I was like, don't put this out. It's like, I might say something crazy.
I'm a bit of a loose cannon.
Yeah.
They probably want nothing more than a controversy, though. Like, if they ever have, like, a controversy online, it's like,
Yeah.
it's the only way anybody,
Yeah.
When it's all said and done, it would be shocking if this is the only time we see Shane Gillis hosting the ESPYs. There truly doesn't seem to be a man built better for this role, and in just one outing proved he's capable of putting an entire 3-hour program on his back. I'm as big of a sports fan as it gets. In fact, this entire channel is based around the ESPN SportsCenter model, but for comedy, and even I cannot tell you the last time that I made sure to watch the ESPYs. So many people around the country tuned in this year solely because Shane was hosting, and it's not even like he's the only famous comedian who knows ball. Either of the Kevin Harts would probably do a great job. Blake Griffin does stand up and he would kill it as host, but there's just something extra about Shane Gillis and his fan base specifically that's exactly what this format needed to gain attention. Even though someone like Kevin Hart is globally famous and still would do a funny job, he would bring in no new eyeballs at this point. Yet I know multiple people who didn't even know what the ESPYs were that still watched for Shane. And like I said before, even with my friends who love sports, it's not like any of us have ever had the ESPYs circled on the calendar until this year. For those who might not know, compared to the official awards that the league gives out, when it comes to the world of sports, an ESPY is basically meaningless, so they don't get talked about in terms of legacy nearly the same as winning a Grammy or an Oscar. But this year's show has actually been talked about like an important event for the first time in a while, and that all can be chalked up to Shane Gillis.
A big year for the WNBA. I love Caitlin Clark. She and I have a lot in common. We're both whites from the Midwest who have nailed a bunch of threes.
This week alone has been nuts as a comedy fan, going from watching the laid-back vibes on Matt and Shane on Monday compared to the formality of the ESPYs 2 days later, with a Jimmy Kimmel Live appearance mixed in there as well. It's just insane to see physically in real time the contrast between the casual world of podcasting and all of the mainstream success it's turned into.
I haven't even been worried about it. And then I thought, I was like, how the f am I going to walk on stage? I'm going to look like a dumbass, dude. It's going to be a giant stage and I'm going to walk in a tuxedo and go, hello.
And now it's time to hear a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, DraftKings. I don't know about you guys, but all this sports talk has me itching for football season to be here in a few short weeks. But in the meantime, there's no better way to make every sport this summer feel just as intense than partnering with the sponsor of today's video, DraftKings. Right now over at DraftKings Sportsbook, new customers who bet just $5 get $150 in bonus bets instantly. The crown can be yours simply by downloading the DraftKings Sportsbook app and signing up with promo code JokeWorld. Stay in the action and use your $150 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a chance at even bigger payouts. Plus, DraftKings even has you covered during the game with live betting available right in the app. And if sports betting is not yet available in your area, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Pick 6 and have a shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now, and new customers can use code JokeWorld, joke like the word joke, and then world like WRLD, to bet $5 and receive $150 instantly in bonus bets. That's promo code JokeWorld only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Guest spots from last week. The Joe Rogan Experience had on Jim Lampley, Paul Stamets, Lucas Nelson, and Danny Jones. The Legion of Skanks welcomed Robert Kelly and Ian Fidance. Two Bears One Cave was Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. Matt and Shane was Dogs Only. Are You Garbage put Colin Chamberlain to the test. Carrot Top stopped by Tiger Belly. Flagrant had on Pod Save America and Rokana. Mike Vecchione appeared on History Hyenas, and also went on You Know What Dude and You Be Trippin'. Blake Griffin was on The Adam Friedland Show. Larry Charles stopped by We Might Be Drunk. Seth Green was on Right Now. Johnny Pemberton joined the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. Dr. Hope Torres came on Your Mom's House. Felix Biederman and Nick Mullen visited Stavi's World. Story Wars was a battle between Steve Byrne, Dusty Slay, and Dave Smith. And the Vile Horrendous joined Tim Butterly on Kill Tony.
You guys are somehow both dressed like two obese Kleenex boxes.
It is
shocking.
According to the law,
Why not?
According to the laws of physics, one of you is going to disappear in a minute.
How are you guys both dressed like the Big Island? Absolutely.
A year and 7 months. So you're very slick with the comedy for that short a period of time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I worked very hard at it.
Yeah. Very good.
You mentioned the shirt. I bought this shirt when I got booked to do Secret Show by Enrique because it matched the background. So
nice.
So Red Band did inspire this shirt.
Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That wasn't the backdrop. Red Band was just standing behind you.
W. Brian Hubbard and Louis Capaldi visited this past weekend with Theo Von. Sam Hyde took a trip on the Harland Highway. Ron Bennington and Jake Valaquez experienced being Ian with Jordan. David Cornsweat took his cape off with Rick Glassman. Ali Sadiq stopped by the Honeydew. Gabby Reese broke bread with Tom Papa. Maddie Smith was on Whiskey Ginger. Lisa Gilroy was on Next We Have. Rob Lowe did stuff with Howie Mandel. Nate Jackson stopped by Birdcast. Sagday DePod had on Ian Fidance and Mike Cannon. Ian also applied for co-host Wanted. The Tim Barley Show featured Nate Marshall. Lemaire Lee and Johnny Salami stopped by Dad Meat. Mr. Salami also had a rough week. Hans Kim was on Jim Norton Can't Save You. Jeff Sheen was on the Dynamite Rocket Ship. Tommy Pope went on First Date. Tuesdays with Stories, The Tim Dillon Show, Chrissy Chaos, Camp Gagnon, Son of a Boy Dad, Bad Friends, The Church, Solid Show, Chubby Behemoth, and Cockfight all did not have guests. And we interviewed Kill Tony Buckethole Karen Jones on the Joke World Patreon.
I cannot overemphasize what peculiar genitalia he has. And I've been married for 43 years. We lived together 3 years before then. So it's been close to 5 decades since I've had sex with anyone but my husband. But there was a little period of time before I met my husband where I was a bit of a slut. And I've seen plenty of male genitalia. And I don't think I've ever seen any that look like his. Tony
As far as brand new stand-up specials that are either out right now or coming out soon, there's honestly not a lot to start off this summer, but Jeffrey Asmus' 63 minutes of great comedy is out right now on YouTube. Danny Roviera, It's Worth It is out on Netflix, and Ariel Alias, A Jewish Star was released by 800 Pound Gorilla. We also have a few projects that are set to come out soon, starting off on July 18th with Verdos Full Volume on Netflix. On July 21st, Joe DeRosa, I Never Promised You a Rose Garden premieres on YouTube, and 8 days later on the 29th, Dusty Slay Wet Heat comes out around the globe on Netflix. And not technically stand-up specials, but this week we had brand new episodes of Stand Up on the Spot, Dr. Phil Live, and Roast Battle League all come out on YouTube, plus a new hour from Josh Johnson on the Epstein debacle, which we also made an entire video about, capturing every comedian's reaction to that topic that you can find on the end screen right after this. And last but certainly not least, as you probably know, Chris DiStefano filled in as host of Jimmy Kimmel Live for multiple shows earlier this week, including one alongside his friend Shane Gillis, who was booked as a guest on Monday. For more on that topic, you can find my reaction after watching that episode live on Monday night over on the Joke World Patreon page, which, by the way, huge shout out to everybody who has joined so far. We're actually making some noticeable progress towards that goal and building a really solid community of comedy fans. That's all the comedy news we have for you this week, but keep an eye out for some best of videos coming out on this channel soon. And please leave a comment if you watch Shane Gillis host ESPYs live, but clarify if you were going to watch anyway because you're a sports fan, or if you tuned in specifically for Shane. I'm running a bit of a poll here. We're going to collect the results and then release them later this week, so don't screw it up.
At Joke World. That's it, at Joke World.
And the world is WRLD.
That's a great YouTube channel, Joke World. Check it out.